You don't need a gym membership, or specialized equipment, or hours of free time to define your midsection. You only need the floor and a commitment to the next 10 minutes. Welcome to the 10-minute protocol. We are going to use a strictly controlled, zero-equipment floor circuit to systematically exhaust your core muscles. This map shows our 4 target zones: the upper abs, lower abs, side obliques, and deep core stabilizers. To make this work, we use strict mathematical constraints. You'll work continuously for 45 seconds, followed by a rigid 15-second rest. 15 seconds is not enough time for your blood to clear lactic acid or replenish oxygen. By enforcing this precise ratio of high exertion to incomplete recovery, we force the muscle tissue to rapidly adapt. Step 1 is the crunch. A common mistake is trying to sit all the way up. Keeping your range of motion small actually creates a much higher degree of direct muscle isolation in the upper abs. As you lift your shoulders off the mat, squeeze at the top. Imagine you are trying to physically crack a walnut in the center of your stomach. In step 2, we move to bicycle crunches. This is where most people hit their first point of failure, usually by sacrificing their form for sloppy speed. This dual-axis graph explains time under tension. Notice that as the speed of the movement slows down, the muscle activation curve increases dramatically. Holding the contraction longer creates a much deeper burn in the obliques. Your instinct will be to rush through the reps to make the pain stop. Actively fight that instinct. Slow your legs down. In this first quarter of the entire circuit, momentum ruins your results. Control is the only metric that truly matters. Moving into step 3, the plank hold, we shift the physical demand. You are no longer actively crunching. Instead, you are now relying on isometric stabilization to firmly hold your body in place. Look at this profile outline of a human plank. Perfect geometry requires a rigid horizontal line from your shoulders down to your heels. Piking your hips up to form a hill or letting them sag into a valley indicates that your stabilizers have failed. Next, step 4, leg raises. This is the highest risk movement. As your core fatigues, you become vulnerable to lumbar hyperextension. That happens when your lower back arches, dumping the weight onto your spine. Keep your lower back completely glued to the mat. Core strength depends on your ability to lock your spine in place and resist unwanted movement. Step 5 is the Russian twist. We are transitioning out of linear movement and bringing lateral rotation into the circuit. Many people fall for the illusion of arm flapping. Simply moving your hands from side to side while your chest stays pointed forward accomplishes nothing. This schematic illustrates rotational torque. Notice how the axis of rotation originates from the center ribs. You must physically twist your entire rib cage to engage the obliques. Immediately after those heavy twists, we hit step 6, mountain climbers. This is the circuit's primary intense cardiovascular accelerator. Stacking a high heart rate sprint right after heavy rotational torque creates an intense oxygen debt. Your core is now forced to fire while heavily fatigued and out of breath. Step 7 drops you back to the floor for flutter kicks. This creates localized lower ab burnout. The secret right here is micro-movement isolation. Restrict your kicks to a tight, fast window of just a few inches. Finally, step 8, the side plank. We split the last 45 seconds to burn out the left and right lateral stabilizers. This is the last one. Hold it. Focus on the exact direction you need to drive your energy. Fight gravity by aggressively pushing your hips upward. Never let your body collapse to the mat. Your muscles are empty, and holding this static position requires immense physical and mental struggle. Pushing through that exact threshold is what forces new muscle tissue to synthesize. And that is time. 10 minutes down. Flip over onto your stomach and move straight into a 30-second Cobra stretch. This split-screen blueprint demonstrates why spinal extension is required here. On the left, your abdominal wall is locked in tight, contracted flexion from the workout. On the right, the Cobra pose safely elongates and stretches those muscles, pulling your spine back into its natural alignment. You applied the localized stress and did the damage today, but the actual muscular repair and aesthetic development happen during your recovery. A chiseled midsection requires a cumulative effort. It is built entirely in the sessions you choose not to skip. Show up tomorrow, cue up the timer, and repeat the protocol.
Hit subscribe if you want to see the next training sequence.